How to adjust your piece number options in Practicad. Practicad has a variety of different piece numbering options we can use when numbering duct. Currently we have a duct line on the drawing that has been numbered duct line forward with the number 1 all the way to the number 6 in sequential order. Take note that Practicad has given each duct an individual number, increasing in increments by 1 from the beginning of the duct line to the end of the duct line. So we have 6 pieces of duct, 6 numbers. Now some contractors would like that if we have 2 fittings with identical parameters and they are identical fittings, that they should get identical piece numbers. And Practicad gives you the ability to turn this option on. Now we're going to go into the section and show you how to adjust that before you run your numbering automatics. But before we go into the second part of this tutorial, we're going to classify for you how Practicad deciphers whether or not 2 fittings are in fact identical. A very good way to tell is to simply click on 2 fittings on the drawing. We're going to use these 2 here. If we highlight 2 or more entities on the drawing and we look in the AutoCAD property box, if we see the word varies anywhere in the geometry, technology, or identification parameters, these 2 fittings are not identical. These 2 on the drawing currently happen to be identical. You can see everything in the geometry matches. There is no word varies. You can see technology, all of the properties match. And even under identification, at no point do we see the word varies. If we were to turn the mechanism, identical fittings, identical fitting numbers on, and number this duct, they would both get the same number. However, if we change even one parameter, for example, we're just going to click on this duct here, and we're going to come down to where it says number blanks, and instead of 2U, we're going to pick 1. Now if we click both ducts, because the number of blanks is different, you can see right here, we get the word varies. So if Practicad sees the word varies anywhere inside geometry, technology, or identification parameters, they will not be classified as identical. Now that we have an understanding of what makes 2 fittings identical, we're now going to show you how to use the identical fitting number option. What we're going to do is we're going to use a few different automatics to just delete all the numbers off the drawing. This way we can reset all numbers back to 0. We're going to change our current number in the workbox back to 1. Now what we're going to do is renumber the duct, but this time we're going to check the proper option to make sure that identical fittings get identical numbers. We're going to go into the library icon on the Practicad ribbon. On the left hand side, we're going to go to the ductwork options by clicking on the word ductwork. When we do that, Practicad will open the ductwork options up. In the top right, you can see that we have piece numbering options, and currently we've got 3 checkboxes with 3 different choices. The first choice is keep same piece number for identical entities. When this box is checked, Practicad will go into a mode that at all times when you make edits to the drawing or number anything on the drawing, that before it numbers something or changes a number, it searches the drawing to make sure that if it's got a fitting that matches its own properties, that its piece number gets the same one as that fitting. So all identical entities on the drawing will get the same fitting number. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the save key and then we're going to exit out. Notice that we always do that before we run the automatic for numbering. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a numbering automatic. We're going to take one out of our automatic bin called duct line forward, and we're going to number this line using an automatic, but this time we've got identical fitting numbers checked. So we're going to click on the drawing now. When we run this automatic, you'll see that Practicad has now taken these first 2 fittings and it's given them the same number. Number 1, number 1. And then it goes down the line in sequential order. We get number 2, number 3, number 4, and this fitting here is the same as this fitting, so it gets the number 3. Now, once you're in this mode, Practicad is going to stay in this mode until you come out of this mode. Which means that if I were to come and let's say add a damper into this fitting here, and we say let's put in a VD blade damper and press OK. The second we go to make an edit, you'll see that Practicad has changed the piece number, because when you go to change or edit or add a new fitting, anything different on the drawing. At the time you go to make that change or add something new or renumber something, Practicad checks the entire drawing to see if anything else matches this property. Currently, nothing matches it, so it gets number 5. If we were to come right here to this duct and put the exact same damper in the exact same place, you can see that this will pick up the number 5 from this fitting. So this way, at all times when this mode is on, we get identical fittings with identical fitting numbers.